Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is entering its finale for the Future Saga DLC arc and is also making an appearance at Dragon Ball Battle Hour featured alongside Project H1000. I wonder what that means. With the first two Future Saga DLCs, we established that the power can do basically anything, and with the recent Chapter 3, we actually saw some real story progress, showing that time can actually be permanently altered, leading up to a very interesting conclusion for Xenoverse 2's story, but still leaving the doors open for something else to continue its legacy. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Doja here, back again with some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and this time we'll be talking about the reveal trailer for Future Saga Chapter 4, as well as the final part for Xenoverse 2's history. And I do want to remind you guys, since I've seen a few people say this, is Xenoverse even going to be a battle hour? Shouldn't they just spend all of their time talking about the new games and the new anime and the new everything? No, Xenoverse is going to be a battle hour. You can literally go into Battle Hour 2026 official website right now, and you'll see under the participating titles that Xenoverse 2 does make its appearance there. You know what doesn't? Dragon Ball The Breakers. Now, obviously, that's because Dragon Ball The Breakers is probably going to have its service end very soon when they announce what Age 1000 is alongside Xenoverse 2's newest DLC. Obviously being revealed then, the newest DLC for Xenoverse 2 will most likely also segue into whatever Age 1000 is going to show. Now, when it comes to the screen time that Xenoverse 2 is going to get, I'm going to be honest, it's probably not going to be too much screen time. It's going to be on the same panel with a lot of other games. Two of those games being Sparking Zero and Age 1000. And I think those will naturally get more time dedicated to them because obviously they're going to be the newest game. Sparking Zero is the newest one out right now and is obviously still doing its big, major, next DLC pack alongside Age 1000, which is obviously going to probably get most of the screen time dedicated to itself. All the games there are obviously Dragon Ball Card Battle, Master, Dragon Ball Card Game Fusions, Legends, Xenoverse 2, Dokkan, Squadra, and then the previous two I mentioned, which was Sparking Zero and Age 1000. And then Sparking Zero, Age 1000, and Xenoverse 2 will probably make up for the actual console game, since Fighters is getting its own different time for the Daima Goku reveal, because it's going to be happening alongside the big tournament that's going on. Now, I think because it would make sense for both Bandai Namco and for the players to obviously go through this, most likely Future Saga Chapter 4's DLC will obviously just basically explain how we're going to translate this game to, Xenoverse 2 to Age 1000. Now, obviously, Xenoverse 1 didn't get the chance to do this because Xenoverse 1's last DLC was Resurrection F, and then a few months after that, Xenoverse 2 basically just got fully announced, and then you can't really make a segue DLC. But Xenoverse 2, unlike Xenoverse 1, has a very long legacy in the world. Xenoverse 2 is reaching its 10-year anniversary, and it's gonna have a 10-year anniversary before Age 1000 even comes out. So that's another thing. The game is super popular. The game is super big. The last DLC being used as a segue DLC or as a kind of a prequel to Age 1000 makes the most sense. Xenoverse 2 is also the Dragon Ball game that's alongside Dragon Ball Fighters that's made the most money ever. In fact, when it comes to anime games in general, I'm pretty sure it's Naruto, Xenoverse 2, or Xenoverse series in general, and Dragon Ball Fighters that have all made 10 million plus sales on all of their games. So those are the biggest anime games when it comes to financial success. It makes the most sense to be oh, let's get every single person who bought Xenoverse 2 onto the next game so we can have more major successes. That makes sense, right? So you guys understand why I say the Future Saga Chapter 4 DLC will easily tie into Age 1000. I wanted to explain that properly because when I say that the Age 1000 tie-in is most likely going to be that Fu probably messes with time a bunch and makes a bunch of different events happen. Maybe Ultra Supervillains come back and they start fighting some people. Or maybe some of the good guys get corrupted like they did in Xenoverse 1 and start fighting other good guys again. Maybe, you and Fu are fighting for the time sword and you break it or something and you make a weird messed up timeline that takes you all the way to Age 1000. Because I want to remind you guys, Xenoverse 2 takes place during 850? Age 852 exactly is I think when Xenoverse 2 takes place. So obviously Age 1000 is a giant gap from that. And obviously you and Fu messing around the time could probably throw you into the far future, which would allow you to then see, all the Dragon Ball heroes and Dragon Ball Online level technology that takes place during Age 1000. That's super duper far in the future. Maybe Fu will try to become the ruler of time. I feel like that's what most villains in Xenoverse 2 try to do. Demigo tries to become the ruler of time. Toa's trying to control time by using Mira as a vessel to acquire more power so she can actually do it, so she can revive the demon realm. It would make sense that Fu would also, Deborah wanted to mess with time as well. But Fu would obviously want to, be the ruler of time because then he can conduct as many experiments as possible, right? So maybe Fu is going to be actually, I also want to absorb Toki, and maybe he'll get a mega super demon form. Okay, he probably won't get a giant form like Demigra because then you can't sell that as DLC. But I think any new character models they make now are ones that they would want to sell as DLC, unless it was something like Cell Max that can only be a boss fight. But most likely Fu will get a new power-up. Maybe he'll get something similar to the way he did in Dragon Ball Heroes, where he gets like the one-winged angel form, or like the kid form, or like he gets like the, you know, the big coat and the monocle, or any of those extra like variants that he has in Dragon Ball Heroes. Because I do want to remind you that Fu basically got ripped away from his actual like canon timeline, which was Dragon Ball Online and Heroes, and he got made into a Xenoverse character, and he's way more popular in Xenoverse. So if they obviously want to sell anything related to Fu, they can just take even more from the other stuff that he was in originally. It wouldn't be hard to do, especially because it seems like they finally stopped fighting for the rights of all of these things, because we're getting the Moro arc animated. So it seems like they're finally done messing around with copyrights, and if they want to allow the animation and game studio to use all of the extra like supplementary material. As a reminder, let's look over the previous DLC stories again with the Future Saga. And not to be too mean, but the previous Future stories are kind of like filler arcs, right? Ultra Super Villain Goku Black is just where Goku Black was just more insane and you take him down and blah blah blah. And Ultra Super Villain Super Saiyan God is where Vegeta became the Super Saiyan God, which is pretty interesting on its own, but then it just becomes where Vegeta was evil again. And it's just done and dusted with. And then the next time is Ultra Super Villain Jiren, where if Jiren was the evilest, and the Gods of Destruction needed to help Goku take him down, and like that's it just kind of ends on its own. But Future Saga Chapter 3 is actually where it starts to get serious, because that's not a situation that you can just be beat by going, oh, just jump in with more time patrollers, or just bring Super Saiyan Blue Goku to handle Ultra Super Villain God Vegeta, right? Like this is a situation that's like kind of like very high stakes. It's a rewriting like reality itself kind of situation, which again is, you know, crucial to Xenoverse's plot. History being rewritten, time being rewritten like permanently, rather than just like just summon like a really strong time patroller, or just move a Goku from a different timeline to just handle this guy type situation. Like Ultra Super Villain Golden Frieza is a pretty high stakes situation. So I imagine again with Future Saga Chapter 4, obviously it'll follow up on that extra high stakes. I wouldn't be surprised if Future Saga Chapter 4 in fact even ends in a kind of way where it's like you make more good in the world, but there's still some evil left behind, because obviously there still needs to be more adventures for time patrollers to go on, especially if Xenoverse 3 is what they're going to announce at Dragon Ball Battle Hour. Because who could maybe do like a permanent like change the time that makes more like time portals happen? It might even bring an excuse for Demigra and Towa and Mira to all come back in Age 1000 as new antagonists, or maybe they can make just a whole new antagonist for it. Toriyama did design several characters for Age 1000 before he unfortunately, you know, left this world. But yeah, I imagine it'll be the type of ending where you save the day, but there's still like, you know, a lingering threat that could exist or reemerge at any point, because it wouldn't be an absolute save the day situation. It'll be more like a, you know, putting like a band-aid on something, knowing that at any point the band-aid is going to peel off, or the leak is going to get too much and like burst the pipe open, and then that's a whole other problem you're going to have to deal with when it does happen. But yeah, pretty insane stuff. But I imagine that's the obvious path that Future Saga Chapter 4 will go on. Obviously, we won't see all of the details for the story when the trailer actually gets you in a battle hour. We'll only see snippets, the same way how we only saw snippets with Frieza, right? We just knew Frieza was going to be the new Ultra Super Villain, and only during like the launch trailer of that DLC did we realize he was going to become like a time god and have like all of these insane moves and all this like interesting story. So whoever they show at battle hour isn't going to be final. It'll just be a teaser for what's actually going to happen, and then launch day's trailer will obviously show more, and then actually playing the story will tell us what's going to happen at the end and how that's going to tie into, you know, the next Dragon Ball Xenoverse game. Either way, though, I do think that is a solid place to end the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, then obviously again, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to greatly support the channel. Leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next. Fellas, I do love you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, and peace, gang. Bye bye.